talk about creating a WordPress blog template that is going to be used both for your portfolio and your blog. So it's an integrated way to mix both and get a little bit more bang for your buck. And I also wanted to talk to you about installing a template on WordPress. Number one, the reason I use WordPress is that it, ahead of Blogspot, when I used to have a Blogspot template, I used to have, as soon as I switched over to WordPress, my Google search rankings went up through the roof. So I know that using a WordPress template, it's just optimized a little bit better for Google. So that's why I recommend all photographers get themselves, even if it's just for your blog, a WordPress template. To back up, what I did was I went to my internet hosting provider, which is barryweb.com, barrieweb.com, and Brent, my customer service person there, I basically said I want to create a WordPress template on my website, and he installed it for me. He charged me a hosting fee so that I can upload pictures and host them there, and he took care of all of that for me. You don't have to use Brent. There's a lot out there. There's Bluehost and a few others. I encourage you to look around, find a price and a package that works best for you. And so what he did was he installed it for me. I paid him to install it for me, and for around $200 I got the domain Funkytown Photography. It's around $15 a year to keep that domain, and to have WordPress installed on my site, and to have enough space basically over on the server, which is just another computer held over at Barry Web servers, and it have enough space to host all of my photos, because I'm hosting a lot of photos on here. And what happened was recently my web page kind of fell in the rankings, so I had to play around a little bit with my template to try to figure out ways that I could get back. And now I am finding myself more on the first page of some of the search engine keywords like Victoria Wedding Photography, Victoria Wedding Photographer, Wedding Photographer Victoria. Think through all the keywords where somebody would find you. So what you want to do is optimize your site. For pro photo blogs, at least for the template that I have, I found that I needed to keep just a standard blog where it was seeing all of my pictures just scrolling like this. I know it's not best for mobile devices. It doesn't view as great for that, but it was worth the sacrifice of having my blog look like this so that it could be found easier in Google. The other thing that I did was I created these little mini galleries because I wanted to have something where if somebody wasn't interested in seeing my most recent work and in viewing and waiting for all these files to load, depending on where they are, that they could just go in and whatever they're in the mood for that day, they could come and take a look. So here's the silliness gallery, and it shows a little bit of my personality and my humor. I did want to say that I mix it up. I don't do all preparations at once, all whatever. I'd rather do it by mood and just kind of show off my work in a way that is a little bit more spontaneous. So I'm going to show you guys how I create a blog post. So I just created one right now for a wedding I did in Muskoka, Ontario. I'm going to add a new blog post right now. I'm going to call it "This is a new blog post." I'm not going to actually publish this, but what I'd encourage you to do is if you're a Toronto wedding photographer, let's say, or a New York wedding photographer, or the wedding was in New York, I want you to label your blog post so that it has that keyword in it. So what I want you to do is I want you to go Tanya and Fraser wedding photography in New York, or Manhattan, or whatever you want. So it's going to have the keywords in there. Then what I want you to do is I want you to create a new gallery. And with ProPhoto, this is as easy as it is, and I believe it's just as easy with other templates that you may purchase. And I'm just going to, one second, homepage galleries. I'll just show you where that silliness was, and you can see that I have labeled my images: Costa Rica Wedding Tamarindo, Calgary Wedding Photojournalism, every single place, Four Seasons Toronto. Every place that I've been, each of my images are labeled that way. They're not labeled image 1234.jpg. They're imaged Zephyr Palace, Four Seasons Wedding. Wherever I happen to have photographed a wedding, I want those keywords in there so that the image shows up when a bride searches for, let's say she's getting married at Casa Santo Domingo in Guatemala in Central America. She's going to go into a Google image search and she's going to look at wedding photos at Casa Santo Domingo in Guatemala. I want my photos to show up there. So it's very, very, very important to label your images and to label them differently. Not just be Victoria Wedding Photography 1, Victoria Wedding Photography 2. Google may penalize you or not value it as much if they're not individual unique names. So I'm going to I'll just upload a couple of these files. They won't take long, and what you can do is you can caption your image with keywords. So keyword, 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 word, keyword, whatever keywords you want. You only want to use the keywords a few times, no more than 3 times per keyword. The alt text is also very important, and this is also going to help optimize that photo to be able to be found by Google and to help Google know what that photo is about. So wedding at Kelowna Golf Course, blah, blah, blah. I do allow pinning on my photos, and I installed something called a plugin to allow that to happen. We'll get into that in a little bit. And then basically I would create the new Pro Photo gallery, and I'm ready to go, and I can insert it as images, I can insert it as a slideshow, I can insert it as a lightbox, I can insert it, so as a slideshow, this is what it will look like, and you can click on it and it will end up being the slideshow like what you saw. So so basically it's as simple as that. If I wanted to, I could have inserted it as images as a regular blog post, and it's just done that. Then what I would encourage you to do is I want you to link to any of the vendors who were involved at the wedding, and I'll just go back over to my website. I'm not going to save this because it's not a real blog post, and I am, so you can see Lisa and Derek Wedding Photography at Rocky Crest, and I have put in the minister's name, the florist, everybody, and I've linked, and there's a really easy way to do this where it goes to their website. And it's also important that if you're linking to somebody else's website, that it will open up in a new window, not in your window. And you can just basically click a little option that says create a link, open in a new window or open in the same window, and that's all that means. And I loaded it up with a few extra keywords so that it will be found a little bit better in Google. I don't really like to write a lot of text around my blog posts. I really prefer for the images to speak for themselves. I know a lot of people write text, and that's going to do you very, very well in Google. But what I did was I created little captions that kind of guided people to know what the photos were about, and it also meant that Google's going to pick this up and know what the wedding was about. And now I'm just going to show you my overall portfolio, and you can see that this is also just a slideshow that I created in my blog. And all I did was so basically, here it is. I created a photo slideshow just like the one that I showed you, and I can go into customize, and I believe that every template that you would buy that would sit on your WordPress template, this is just the look and feel. I went and I bought this template after I had my WordPress site installed by my host, and I bought it from ProPhotoblog. So I waited till all the installation was done, then I went to ProPhotoblog, then I bought the template. You can do this with Rawfolio, you can do this with a lot of different template companies. Like I said, the one I use is ProPhoto. And over here in menus, it's as simple as if I want to create a new menu on my page, you can see there's weddings, there's my portfolio, wedding blog. I can actually do it where it's a link to a page, where it could be an internal blog link. It could be anything. And it's as easy as that. That's how I actually created my navigation. For my homepage, let's see, the header area, you can see where I uploaded my logo and how I wanted it to appear, the layout and the appearance, that I wanted a primary navigation and logo to appear. I was basically able to take this template and do whatever I want with it. And if I really wanted to, if I don't like the look and feel of my website, I can come over here, I can click Manage Designs, and I can take a look at some of the other website templates, and I can preview the new design with my photos. How incredible is that? So this is what the website would look like if I used a different template, and then I'd have to go in and I'd have to create my own, put my own logo in, etc., etc. But it's pretty much as easy as that. I just wanted to show you a few easy ways that you can optimize your website easily and to manage your portfolio easily in a nice way that's going to view well for your users, as well as it will be found way better in Google. And that's a very important thing. I know there's other search engines out there, but really truly, if somebody is going to get married at the Empress Hotel in Victoria, chances are they're going to want to see other wedding photos shot at the Empress Hotel in Victoria. So I do encourage you to please optimize your website to not just be about the city, not just be about the photography, but to also be about the individual place and the venues and the people involved, so that Google will understand that you're associated with that. So on your end of things, that's how I would recommend you do it.